No, but it's more specific than that. You don't hate Justin Trudeau because Justin Trudeau doesn't exist. I mean that. Ford doesn't exist. Theresa Tam doesn't exist. Anthony Fauci doesn't exist. Joe Biden doesn't exist. Boris Johnson, Emmanuel Macron, none of these people exist. They're not real. Because none of these people give you authentic thoughts. None of these people are writing the things down that they're coming out and saying. All of these people are organized by groups of people behind them that tell them this is what you're supposed to say at this moment in time, and this is how you're supposed to connotate, so this is how you're supposed to sound and be, and this is how your tonality should be. All of it's scripted.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not mad at Justin Trudeau because Justin Trudeau's not real. This has nothing to do with Justin Trudeau. It has to do with whoever is allowed to put the policies through that Justin Trudeau then says are going to be mandated into law in our country. Those are the people we're upset with.
Yeah. And that's just it. If you're being led, or you could use the word ruled by people that are behind the veil, that's really scary.
100%.
Because you don't even know what their thought process is or where we're going. I mean, that really takes us back full circle as to why everybody has just said no, that's enough.
Yep.
And you know what? It's hard to find a group of people that have the impact of the economy to be able to get the attention of Trudeau. You think of all these different professions and jobs out there. It's like if they just stop doing what they're doing and head to Ottawa,
yep,
it just wouldn't have the impact as a bunch of truckers that are, they got the supply chain in their hands.
Yep.
They've got big, heavy vehicles that can block roads and cause nightmares that, you can't just move. And you can't just retrain a whole force of people to drive those trucks.
No.
So at the end of the day, it's one of the only groups of people that can actually start the momentum to actually accomplish what's going to happen.
Yep.
And as strategizing, thinking about it as a strategist, I don't know how Trudeau can allow these trucks to get to Ottawa. You've lost if they get there.
I know. And that's why, this is, so, for context, one of the reasons why we've decided to start this channel is because of the fact that over the course of the next week, we think history is going to be made, quite literally. Justin Trudeau cannot allow these trucks to get to Ottawa and lock the entire capital of the country down. It can't happen. But at the same time, I don't know how you stop it. I don't know how you stop it when they're coming in from all sides. That's it. It looks like you've got probably 500,000 Canadians en route. You could have 50 to 100,000 trucks show up for this.
Here's the thing: the truckers, I don't think are going to move.
No.
And if Trudeau decides he's just going to Macron it and yellow vest, let Ottawa burn down while he just goes on vacation or leads from a different area, eventually you're just going to continue pissing off people that are now directly affected by the truckers not moving.
Yes. I think that this is going to bring the entire country to a stop. I think that our country, that's the craziest part for me, is that some people have no idea what's happening right now, and we're sitting here watching the entire country's going to be brought to a stop sometime this weekend is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just so once again, I know you can't see the videos I've got playing here, but I've got videos from all over the country that are just playing right now on a loop. And man, it's not good weather. It's not nice out. It's not a nice time to be out. It's -20 and -30 in these places. And you've got hundreds to thousands of people standing outside in the cold to show their support. You've got these guys driving, you've got thousands of bobtails. Thousands of trucks that don't have trailers that are driving across the country in the dead of winter to make a point about this. And they're surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, of passenger vehicles. People have jumped into their cars because they're also coming down to show support. I was jumping on Facebook earlier today, and there's people posting in the marketplaces saying, hey, I'm en route to Ottawa and this is when I'm leaving. If you want to jump in my vehicle with me and split on gas because you want to support this, then let me know. And then those posts are blowing up immediately because other people who don't have vehicles want to come out to show their support for this. I'm sure Trudeau knows exactly, because that's the thing. He would have access, they would have access to all the information to in real time know exactly where everyone is that's mobilizing. So it's like they know. They can see it on a map somewhere. There's a room full of evil people that are trying to come up with a dastardly plan to stop us all. And they're seeing the entire country converging upon Ottawa. They don't know what to do. Like, this is one of the greatest things I've watched in years, boys. And I'm just sitting here, and it's like there's been a lot of hope that it's been hard to have over the course of the last 2, almost 3 years now. And I'm seeing this, and it's like I'm super proud of Canadians right now watching this, man.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like right now his biggest challenge is keeping the GTA in the dark about what's going on.
Yep.
Because
yes,
if that population center wakes up about what's happening, it's over.
Okay, so let's talk about that for just 1 second, because we were watching videos of the protest from Toronto, okay? And so we're watching these. So Liam, you might have seen this part. We were watching videos of the protests in Toronto. It's like there are tens of thousands of people. There's maybe 100,000 people at these protests. And it's like absolutely gridlock within blocks of where the news stations are located. And then when you listen to the news that night, they're talking about a couple hundred people who protest in the UK. You guys could not leave your station and go anywhere because you're gridlocked. Because there are so many people right now out protesting, trying to like make a message be heard. And you guys want to talk about this minor protest in the UK. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, the blackout that's occurring. It's like if you're in Ontario, you hear nothing about what's happening in Ontario. If you're in Quebec, you hear nothing about what's happening in Quebec. Side note, we are sending a professional camera guy up to Ottawa over the weekend. So we're sending a guy up there all strapped up with cameras and stuff. We are going to be able to like live stream a little bit. We're going to be getting content. We're going to be getting video. We're going to probably actually ourselves go and sit on one of these overpasses and try to get a time lapse of the trucks coming in. So I'm hoping to end up with a video that's 10 minutes long at 8 times speed to watch all of the trucks come through.
I guess there's a whole procedure. They have a lead person that's in charge of distributing the funds. So yes. I think that there is a way of getting that money, but
okay, so that's
they were prepared to just start paying for fuel at the pumps.
No, so that's that's turned into a real. Okay, so the problem that we're running into right now, as far as the GoFundMe, is now I'm just off memory right now. I don't have notes in front of me, but the problem we're running into with the GoFundMe, which side note, it's at like $4.2 million now. It's been shooting to the moon. But they are trying to make the argument that the trucking convoy it's tied to a right-wing fringe group, and therefore GoFundMe needs to be able to verify where all the funds go before they're going to distribute the funds. Since that happened, the convoy itself has gotten a bunch of accountants, lawyers involved to make sure that all of the paperwork is where it's supposed to be and the funds are distributed the way that they are supposed to be. Any additional funds after things like fuel are paid for to basically get people there and back. All the rest of everything is going to be donated. Do you guys remember when there was a video where Justin Trudeau was actually talking to a veteran and explained to him that unfortunately he's asking for more than Canada can give him right now, when they were talking about like support for veterans?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I mean, I remember watching a video where Justin Trudeau was trying to fill a sandbag up in the process.
But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because what they're saying is that the rest of the money from the GoFundMe is going to be going directly to the Veterans Affairs. Like, it's going to be going to the veterans that Justin Trudeau specifically told we didn't have enough to support.
Yeah.
So we're super hopeful, long story short, and I think that they'll have the proper legal backing to make sure that GoFundMe can't play anything political with the money that they've accrued so far.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if I was a truck driver, I wouldn't be leaving home unless I had enough money to cover the trip already.
100%.
And then hope to get refunded after, right?
Yep.
Like, that's how I do it. If I'm at the first fuel pump trying to get money, that's a problem.
So I'm that's one thing I'm curious about is are they literally just emptying stations in their wake en route?
Pardon me?
That was one thing I'm curious about is like are they literally just emptying stations in their wake as they make their way across the country?
I have no idea. I mean, every bit of footage that I've seen, I didn't see all the footage, but every bit of footage I've seen, it seems like this convoy is still fairly spread apart. I've only seen the out west footage. I haven't seen anything from like New Brunswick.
Oh, bud. New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. I don't even know what the plan is for Newfoundland. I want to get more video content because I want to know how they're getting all these trucks across the ferry. But even Newfoundland are sending trucks over.
See, that's exactly like if there's points like ferries.
Say that again.
Who, me?
I'll do Liam first.
Sure.
I was just saying I forgot they need to send a ferry, and that's not a short.
No, I know.
That's
There's
not a short journey.
huge dedicated plan. Like it's a huge dedicated plan to get all these trucks off of the rock to the mainland and then continue along. But I've watched a bunch of videos of guys in their trucks en route, so they are making it. But yeah, you got to use the ferry to get over.
The ferry ride itself, that's a few hours.
100%.
Yeah, I think if you have the ferry or any kind of a point like that where it's an easy way to block them from just getting involved, I mean you're gonna see the government go for those areas to basically shut people down.
So okay, so where let's take a vote on this. Where do you guys believe they are going to set up when they do set up to try to stop this from actually like entering Ottawa?
So, like I said before, I think that you want to keep this completely clear of the GTA, and you've got the main convoy coming down from the north. I've heard the routes. They talk about the route from time to time, but it's hard to kind of make out exactly where it is. But I would try to stop them prior to them getting into the area where they can now branch out.
Yep.
Like keep them in northern Ontario. I don't know how you would do that. I mean, like, you just block the roads, you open way scales, I have no idea. But if they get to Toronto, I mean, now the government would have to shut down everybody, even the truckers and the people that are just commuting.
Yeah.
Which is not really practical. So, like, they've already breached the system.
They just as a side note, CFTR Newsroom says, British reporter, there are 10 kilometers of trucks headed into Winnipeg based on GPS highway speed alone. Like it sounds like there's just these massive clumps, like massive clumps that are slowly converging into one giant clump.
Well, that's right, because I hear the same cities being mentioned on Zello over and over. Like yesterday we were listening to it, and we hear Regina, we hear this, we hear that. We hear the same cities again today. So I'm just wondering if the truckers are just keep pouring out of these same cities, and they're just either trying to catch up to wherever the lead of this convoy is, or they're just going to Ottawa regardless. Like,
so what I'm noticing, it's they're doing like overnight pit stops where they'll stop for the night for everyone. And when that happens, there's these massive convergences of people that are joining, like, that they'll be there overnight, so that's when you can swing out and join the convoy.
Yeah.
So it's like there's these periods, there's like long periods where it's all about one place because there's just people piling in.